Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode 106 of the Nearly Men Video Games podcast, coming to you live on Twitch in Scotland on Thursday the 7th of April 2022. My name is Paul Kaczynski, and joining me this evening is none other than Colin_NM.
Ahoy, and again I say hoy.
And along with Blunder Boy Half a Job 87, we are the Nearly Men. And this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy. We have nothing to do with the video games industry. We don't make them, we don't sell them, we're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you've probably kicked our asses online. Hi.
Hello.
Here we are. Look, it's him.
It's him?
No, it's him.
No.
For our audio listeners,
I pointed the wrong way.
Colin just failed the video test. You can't do it now.
It's because it's flipped. It's stupid.
They're gone.
Stupid Discord with a flippy video thing.
Hello, Colin.
Hello.
How are you?
It's just us. It's just me and you.
Us. This is the third episode in a row with two Nearly Men, as opposed to three.
The occasional men, somebody called us the other day. In fact, did we not call the last episode that?
The episode was the occasional men, which I should have kept for this episode, but there you go. So the first one, you had COVID, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Then last episode, I had COVID.
You had COVID.
So this week, Blunderboy must have COVID. Oh, no, wait.
No. Blunder Boy's in his Budgie Smugglers in the sun.
Oh, my days.
In Italy.
Oh, my days. We're all thinking about Blunderboy and his Budgie Smugglers now, though.
Yeah, Budgie Smugglers, lathered in oil.
Slightly browner than it should be.
I mean, we're really just saying this. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to say? Because basically, Blunderboy said, right? Now, Blunderboy says a lot of things. Blunderboy said that he's going to listen to the podcast on his flight home.
Not a chance.
So, there's not a chance.
Not a chance.
We could declare it. So I thought, we'll see. We'll see if we throw a few grenades in for Blunderboy.
So Blunderboy messages now. I don't know, you can't do that on a plane, can you? I don't know the rules. I've not flown in about 20 years.
Well, we'll know though if Blunderboy flying first class.
I suppose
he'll have satellite phone or something. You can get Wi-Fi in those fancy ass planes. He'll
probably send a telegram or something.
He's no sitting there with his knees stuffed up his nose practically in some steerage class. No, he'll have those fold down seat bed things and all. He'll be
you're right. Actually, you're right.
He'll be on that, perfectly capable of streaming the Nearly Men podcast. But no, he'll be on Netflix.
He'll be watching some third-rate slasher film without a doubt. Dear me.
Resident Evil's overrated. Blunderboy. That'll get him talking.
I think I just heard a wee explosion in Italy. How are you, Colin? How have you been the past couple of weeks, sir?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. I had to shave off my beard for a job, and it's slowly but surely returning to me.
I'd call that a beard again.
Which is a relief. I've just hate being clean shaven. Hate it.
So if I'm right in saying you have to shave it off and leave a moustache for this part, is that right?
Yes.
Do you then shave off the moustache, I take it?
Well, normally I would then trim the moustache back and let it all grow back, but I actually left the moustache this time.
I was going to say.
Is the moustache a wee bit more prominent?
Well, I was just curious. I think I would leave the moustache and let everything catch up. I don't think I would shave off the moustache. I can't remember. I had to shave my beard for a part with a moustache fairly recently. I can't remember what I did now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is thrilling. Yep. Nothing to do with video games.
Nope. Just Blunderboy's Budgie Smugglers and my moustache. There's your title for the episode.
There's some sort of porn film title in there. Dear. Let me go with this.
Congratulations, you said that word correctly for once.
Do you know what I had to think before I said that? I went, how does he want me to say this?
Word correctly for once in your life. Well done.
Listen, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody that's got in touch for this week's episode. We love you getting in touch. Here's how you can do it.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Blunderboy at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Deeds, drop us a line. Let us know, babies. Colin, that's a rather fetching t-shirt you've got on there, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes. Let me move my microphone
For
the way.
Again, for our audio listeners, jump on Twitch on a Thursday night, 8 p.m. You can watch us for free. Colin is demonstrating, or what's the word?
Modelling.
Thank you.
Modelling.
One of the very beautiful Nearly Men t-shirts that we've still got on sale. You can go to printbunker.co.uk and pick up a variety of colours of t-shirts and styles designed by the handsome Colin Little beside me. You pick up t-shirts for $15.99 and the hoodies for a bargain. Colin, how much you pay for a hoodie? How much would you pay for a hoodie normally?
Well, I went to see a Disney theatre show and bought Sherry Bobbins a hoodie.
Just a couple of thousand, was it?
You could get 2.5 of our hoodies for the price of that one.
Yes, the hoodies are priced at £20.99. £20.99, which is a bargain for a hoodie. I've still not picked up one, but I'll get one.
I know, they're very comfy. My cats love that hoodie. And as a result, my hoodie gets covered in cat hair. That's the only slight thing I'd say about that hoodie is it seems to cat hair seems to cling to it, but they are incredibly comfortable. The Nearly Men hoodies, incredibly comfortable.
What colour's your hoodie, Colin?
My hoodie is black, and it is the Tetris design.
Do you know what I mean? So jump on over to printbunker.co.uk. You can find us under the Nearly Men collection. Get yourselves a wee t-shirt or a hoodie. Do it. Do it. Listen, no messing about. Colin, I imagine you're quite excited about this one. News. Remedy are remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 inside the Control engine. Ethan Gach at Kotaku writes, film noir sad sack Max Payne is getting his due with a full remake of the first two games. Developer Remedy Entertainment announced yesterday. The new compilation will include both Max Payne and Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max, and be exclusive to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Remakes of the PS2 era games are part of a new publishing agreement with Grand Theft Auto maker Rockstar Games. Remedy will develop the games using its proprietary Northlight game engine, which made 2019's excellent paranormal thriller Control, while Rockstar will fund the production. What are you making of this, Colin?
This kind of caught me a bit off guard when I saw it. I love the original Max Payne. The original Max Payne is a fabulous game. I don't know if you played it much yourself, Paolo?
My brother had it for PC. I attempted to play it on PC, and then I didn't get very far because I didn't really know what I was doing. I think it was PC. Either or the Xbox. No, it wouldn't be the Xbox, would it? The original Xbox? No, it must have been PC. It was PC. I almost certainly probably was on the Xbox. I think I did. I had it on PS2. And yeah, it's basically using the... I know it's the inside Control engine, but I think it's also to do with Unreal 5. Is that right? I might be wrong here. I think it's to do with Unreal. I think it's a special version of the Unreal Engine 5, which of course also went into sort of full release just recently. Anyway, I'm quite excited by this. These are great games. Of course, do you remember the defining gimmick of the Max Payne games? It was very much a gimmick of its time. Yes, it was the bullet time thing, wasn't it?
It was indeed. It was the bullet time, which of course was made. It became ubiquitous due to the Matrix, and it genuinely, I thought it was spectacular. I had it was the right sort of time for me. I had a PC that could run this game and run it well. and it was really quite something. You would use painkillers. Max Payne would gather painkillers, and they would build up his sort of adrenaline level. And then on the mouse, you would use your right mouse button, I believe it was, which would engage bullet time, and you could like dive around corners and do a sort of John Woo style double gunning dive and blast a whole bunch of guys in the face and neck and groin and everything. And of course you would like aim for, you know, that way where in action games and action movies there are always lots of explosive things just littered about at all points. You could aim at them, shoot them, and have these kind of like slow motion explosions. It was really spectacular. It was a very cool game, very dark, very sort of film noir, very stylish, and I'm quite excited. I'm very glad that it's not just like a up-resed re-release or port of the original games. By the sound of things, this is a brand new build in the Control engine. That Control engine in itself is very good. I've played, although I've not completed Control, I've played quite a lot of it in PS5, and it uses a lot of sort of particle effects and sort of a lot of the stuff that you can already tell is going to work really, really well with Max Payne. Max Payne 2, the Fall of Max Payne, is not one that I know as well as the first one. But yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I just hope they do a better job of it than the Grand Theft Auto remasters of late.
They weren't well received, were they?
Well, yeah, were they well received? I mean, I think they did okay, but yeah, technically they had a lot of problems.
Were people expecting too much, do you think, with the Grand Theft Auto remakes? Or do you think there was things wrong?
I don't know. I sort of, they were not ready. They were not ready. I mean, there was a weird bug that when you were moving your car about the road, your car was getting bigger. as you sort of like, people were like sort of like, you know, that sort of like weaving about in traffic. Each time they turned their car, the dimensions of their car would increase. so there's these videos where the car was near enough. It would go from sort of normal car width to like the width of two carriageways and stuff. It was really weird graphics. People's arms were like 4 foot long and stuff like that, and like really long fingers and things like that. Just weird stuff that I know that Rockstar themselves weren't technically in charge of, but a company with Rockstar's wealth and should have been able to.
They're putting their name on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, should have been able to make sure that stuff like that wasn't happening, you know.
So
that was a bit weird.
Correct me if I'm wrong, was there a third Max Payne as well?
Yes, that was a PS3 game. I'd never really played that one. It's a much later game. He's in like Cuba. He's maybe in Havana or something by that point. He's in a sort of Hawaiian shirt. He kind of looks a little bit like Walter White or something by that point. He's got sort of like sunglasses on and a kind of beard and kind of almost kind of shaven head sort of look. I think kind of thinning hair by that point.
My memory of him is certainly what we're looking at here from the first game.
Yeah. Certainly by Max Payne 3, he looks quite different, and stylistically it was quite different. Obviously, you're sort of used to the mean and the moody film noir and the rain and the dark, and yeah, it was. But apparently, Max Payne 3 is quite good.
I had to look it up there because it was driving me insane. Because they made a film of Max Payne.
They did with Mark Wahlberg.
Well, I couldn't remember who played him, and of course it's Mark Wahlberg. Of course it is. I take it
who's his co-star in that?
Mila Kunis.
So
what year do you think that was made?
That sounds about 2006.
Not bad at all. 2008.
Oh,
there you
go. You know, if I hadn't said I mean, it was sort of right there or thereabouts. I was like, oh,
very good.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, of course it was.
Yeah.
I take it that was bullet time heavy as well. The movie.
I don't know.
Surely,
I've actually seen it.
I mean, that's when I think of Max Payne. That's what I think of. Is that gimmick? So if the film didn't have it, it can get in the bin.
Oh, I'm sure it would have had it.
Aye.
At some point, but yeah, whether it would have had it, I mean, like. It was the main thing of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So it probably didn't have as much as... I mean, I would be able to time everything in that game.
Gosh. So we've got Max Payne coming. We've had the Grand Theft Auto remakes, the recent Resident Evil remakes.
There's been Alan Wake
remaster. I mean, what's? Do you like remakes, Colin, or do you? Well, there's a question. Do you like remakes? Do you enjoy them? Are you happy when they announce things of games you've finished? Basically, do you want to play them again?
I'm not a big person for replaying games. There's only a handful of games that I've actually played more than once. Generally, I'm more of a sort of person that'll sort of like 100% a game, or like I'll do this much and then I'll do a bit of tidying up if there's trophies and things like that I like to get, especially nowadays that you get trophies and things like that in games. And then I'm kind of done with it.
Sorry.
Yeah, what I would say is, it really depends on the individual game.
That's what I was just about to say.
Quite excited about playing the Max Payne game, remade. I really like the Resident Evil remakes. I think they're great. I think they're really great, because one of the things that I find quite difficult with Resident Evil, especially going back and playing old games, is the tank controls. I bloody hate them.
You don't like them, do you?
I hate them. So going back and kind of playing them again, absolutely great.
But do you think that's because they're 20 years old, and it's been 20 years or thereabouts since you played it?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that I also think there's a place for these, because there are games. The original Max Payne's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. This will potentially open this up to a new audience that will get to explore and play those games. I think that's quite good. I was super excited about the remaster of Jedi Outcast. It was bloody awful.
Oh gosh, don't remind me.
Genuinely awful. We got sent a code from it, and I was, one of the few times we've been sent a code and I felt I'd been shortchanged.
Aye, because it played like it used to, as in like you felt like you were playing a game that old. It didn't feel like atrocious. Done.
It was really bad. Which is a shame, because I adore that game. I adore that game, but the purpose of them releasing it on was that PS4? That was PS4, and literally doing nothing to it really just made me think, what was the point? And it felt really weird and floaty, and yeah, that's what that game felt like back then, because there was a certain era of 3D first-person shoot 'em ups on PC that had that floaty keyboard and mouse thing, which actually didn't feel too weird on keyboard and mouse. It feels really weird on controller, and I don't understand, when you were porting it to console, why you wouldn't maybe try and do something about that.
Right, aye.
Or else maybe just go, "Ooh, this isn't going to work. It's probably not worth doing."
I think we have to split the field here. I'm seeing a few things in the chat. It's like Dancing Toaster saying the only remaster I think I've played is Last of Us or Uncharted. I think we need to split the difference between a remaster and a remake. I think they're two different things, aren't they? So Resident Evil 2 is a really good example, I think, of a remake, because it's a fresh game. It's a new game, isn't it?
I mean, it very much holds... how would I put it? It very much harks back. It's very much Resident Evil 2, but it's different. It's a brand new. It's built from the ground up. They've added new things in. They've changed things. Yeah, that's a remake. The remasters, I mean, the thing is, both those remasters that Dancing Toasters referenced there are good, but they are borderline a bit unnecessary, because those games, the kind of time between those games coming out and the remaster was not a long time.
It's like a polish, isn't it? I'm thinking of The Last of Us in particular. Everything's just polished up a bit better.
Well, they were also moving them from PS3 to PS4, and there's no denying that the Last of Us Remastered on PS4 is brilliant. It really is brilliant. But
is it particularly different from the PS3 version? Or playing a game, if you take away what it looks like and I know that will add to how you play the game, but does it play much different? Because I only played it on the PS4. I only played the remaster, so I wouldn't know.
No, not really. Not really. It just looks shinier, really.
Right.
Obviously, some of the controls are ever so slightly, the touchpads used and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, not dramatically. I mean, obviously, The Last of Us Remastered also had the DLC. But you're right. You're right. There is a difference between the remasters and the remakes. But there's certain games there's certain games which I think only need a remaster. So, for instance, an old point and click game like the Monkey Island games, for instance, they only really need a remaster. They need a remaster to tidy up and clean up the visuals. Of course, they added in Guybrush's voice and all that sort of stuff, right? They're not quite remakes. They're probably a sort of line in between, but something like that's quite good. There are other games that benefit from a remake, and the idea of this being a remake is great, rather than just a sort of fancy port. But it is a tricky one because there's an awful lot of these happening now. And for gamers of a certain generation, like us, who have played a lot of these games and also play a lot of new games, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on whether you've got any real nostalgia for the game or whether you particularly are keen. And I think it might stifle creativity if folk are devs are constantly working on remasters. But I thought, Demon Souls on PS5 is very, very good.
Okay.
It's very good. It's essentially a remake. It's kind of built up, more or less. It was very good. I enjoyed that because it takes away some of the jagged edges, although it in a lot of ways keeps some of the things about Demon Souls that makes Demon Souls unique,
Right.
and also makes you grateful that Dark Souls and Elden Ring came along because you're like, oh god, I'm glad they don't do this anymore.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a difficult one. I'm trying to think of one that would really. I suppose the one, and this is a question for you as well, is the one that would really excite me would be Red Dead Redemption.
I knew you were going to say that.
So
yeah.
say they made Red Dead Redemption in the same format, look, feel as Red Dead Redemption 2. Would that is that a remaster? Is it a remake? Is it somewhere in between?
Well, I think if they were to put Red Dead Redemption into the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine, that would essentially be a remake.
Okay.
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that.
See, that's interesting because that we're now half in the time between what Max Payne is, for example. So that memory of a game 20 years ago, we're now going back 10 years. So 10 years would I suppose it depends on the game, really, doesn't it? It depends on what it is. I'd be all in for that, by the way. I hate how these rumours start as well. Oh, they're going to release a double bill of Red Dead Redemption 2. No!
Well, they've not done a hee-haw with Red Dead Online, have they?
Oh, my days.
Might as well be doing something. Shout out also to the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay, yeah.
Although Final Fantasy VII and the Final Fantasy games aren't really my thing, I've played quite a lot of the Final Fantasy remake, and it's very good. It is very good. It's probably the best Final Fantasy I've played. As I said, they're not really my sort of thing, but they're very good, and I think it's still. I mean, some of the hardcore fans may disagree, but for me, what I remember of playing Final Fantasy VII, the original game, I remember playing through. My pal was obsessed with it, and you used to go around your friend's house and play video games together, and I would sort of like vicariously live Final Fantasy through watching him play. More or less. I would do stuff, and we would sort of like come up with decisions and all that sort of stuff, and he had named one of the characters in the game Barrett, who a very beloved game character in the game. He called him Colin, so I was sort of like living in it as he was, my friend Andrew. But I would like go away and come back the next day, and Andrew had played so many more hours and we'd progressed on. He would like fill me in on the story, so I never really played an awful lot of it. I've subsequently went back. I had it on the PS Vita for a while and things like that, and I played bits of it. I certainly know a lot of the game. And the the remake of Final Fantasy VII on PS4 and PS5 definitely, as far as I'm concerned, really captures the feel and the heart of Final Fantasy VII, whilst adding in new stuff. I much prefer the sort of Final Fantasy 15 style combat where it's much more sort of real time. It's still turn based, but it feels much more. You have much more control of the fight than you did before, where it was basically hit the enemy and then wait for them to hit you, and then wait for the other one to hit you, and then it's your turn to hit them back again. So yeah, and that's the thing. I think if you can, capture the feel of these games, but also give us a reason why you've done it, then it makes it feel a bit more worthwhile. It's about more than just making a game look shiny, and that's what I want to see is what they can do with this. There's no denying it'll look super fancy with the bullet time and all that, but we're going to need a reason for them to actually remake it.
Yeah.
Apart from just money.
Here. And Rockstar aren't about money, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Another bit of news, Mr. Little, certainly in your ballpark, sir, is the Sea of Thieves Legend of the Veil was announced today.
Yes.
Well, tell us about it.
So we were discussing this earlier on. John McFarlane
and his cleavage
and his cleavage,
and his cleavage.
Spectacular cleavage. I don't know if his cleavage was that spectacular. To be fair, no offense, John, but you're very low cut shirt.
Get out now.
He's a very handsome man, John McFarlane, and of course representing Scotland.
Indeed,
all the way down there. Rare, what a legend. A genuine pirate legend. Anyway, so a couple of days ago, Sea of Thieves released a little sort of teaser video with John McFarlane and a few of the team talking about this long-awaited Pirate Legends Voyage. Basically, once you make Pirate Legend in Sea of Thieves, and of course you do that by reaching level 50 reputation for 3 of the different factions in the game. So whether it's gold hoarders and merchants or Order of Souls or Reapers or whatever, once you get level 50 in 3 of those trading companies, you then can become a pirate legend, and that sort of allows you entry to a new faction, which is of course Athena's Fortune. There's a couple other things as well, and of course it's quite a cool thing. Sea of Thieves now have over 1 million pirate legends, which is a real sign of this sort of longevity of people playing. Because although there's now lots of ways to get to pirate legend, and it doesn't take as long as it used to take to get to pirate legend. It doesn't even take as long as it took when you and I started playing Paolo.
We didn't do it the hard way though, Colin. I think a few people have reminded us of that.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And certain folk love to let us know about that. But what has happened is what you then happen is leveling up Athena's Fortune is very grindy. It is late game. It's something that you're going to want to take time, but there's not been a lot, and a lot of pirate legends who have been there and done everything else in the game were desperate for something else, and of course this is Rare finally kind of giving pirate legends something. So they teased it the other day, and today they released a 9-minute video on the Sea of Thieves YouTube channel, which is of course the Sea of Thieves Legend of the Veil deep dive, and I have to say it looks really, really cool. Basically what it is it says a new 3-chaptered voyage. It's sort of I'm going to have mild spoilers here. I won't go too much into detail because some folk will want to explore bits and pieces about it, but I'll sort of talk more mechanically about it than actually about specific things. It's going to be a 3-chaptered voyage. It's going to kind of brings in the best bits of both Tall Tales and the standard voyages, and it works on a 3-chapter format with essentially modules that kind of get moved in and out, which makes it essentially endlessly replayable. Some of these modules are going to be kind of puzzle solving, following maps and dig points and things like that. Some of them are going to be more combat focused. Some of them will be sort of riddles and all that sort of stuff. There's going to be voiceovers. There's going to be kind of video sequences and cinematics and stuff like that. On top of that, it looks like the difficulty of them have been sort of cranked up a little bit. So whereas you've got the sort of normal maps that you're used to in Sea of Thieves, where you've got these maps and you look at them, you go, oh, there's Smuggler's Bay or there's Devil's Ridge. Okay, let's go there and dig those up. The maps are more zoomed in. There's a few different types of maps. So rather than seeing the whole island and going, that's that island, you're actually seeing a portion of an island. So it's really going to be more about getting to know those islands a little bit better. You're going to have to study the map a bit more, things like that. There's different types of maps and different types of puzzles. And then what will happen is, so the sort of middle section of the Voyages is going to be the one where it will kind of cycle in and out, and it'll be a wee bit different each time. The ending is a big sort of cinematic sequence, which features a massive storm, a huge tornado, and a big essential sea battle, which features destructible environments.
Oh my!
It looks really, really cool. The deep dive's great. They go into the sound design of it. They go into some of the other level design stuff. It's really worth checking out. It looks really, really cool. Of course, there's also a slew of new stuff, new like Pirate Emporium stuff and all that sort of stuff. This also marks the Athena's Fortune reputation had a cap at 20. So I know a lot of folk are there. I'm only at level 10 Athena's Fortune at the moment, so I've got a bit to go, but they're raising it to 30, which also is going to give some of those people that have kind of maxed out Athena's Fortune something to work towards again.
Yeah. That sounds exciting.
It looks really cool. It's an interesting one as well because Rare have kind of given it they've kind of done it in a sort of rare way where and what being a pirate legend represents. Only pirate legends can start this voyage, but you don't all have to be pirate legends on the crew to do it.
Right. A bit like Athena, isn't it?
Well, yeah, essentially. So if you have a pirate legend and say you've got, you and I and loads of folk in the chat, loads of folk who listen out there who play Sea of Thieves, will either have been helped by a pirate legend to get to pirate legend, or they will have helped people become pirate legends. There's a big thing about that in Sea of Thieves. It's a great thing. I remember countless people who helped me get a pirate legend. I have subsequently helped lots of people get there. And this is a new way to do it as well. You can take people on a voyage, and you might take people that are very new at the game in and go, well, look, this is what will be awaiting for you when you get to pirate legend. So I think it's really cool. We knew it was coming out a bit later in season 6, but we have a date. It is out, 3 weeks today? 21st of April?
Oh my.
21st of April.
2 weeks?
No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks today. So yeah, I'm quite excited about it actually. I think it looks pretty good.
That sounds great, man. That sounds really good. I know
people are quite excited. And I do see Evil Monkey saying, and I also spotted this. There's been a new update today, and they appear to be building something new on one of the docks at each outpost. We've seen this before when the Castaway Shack finally appeared from the Pirate's Life DLC. Well, there's more building supplies at those things. And with the adventures, there's a new mystery coming at some point as well, the murder mystery thing. We've been rescuing the people from Golden Sands from the forts. It's just amazing. Sea of Thieves is 4 years old, and the amount of stuff they keep adding to the game, it's great. It's really good, and I think this is a big thing as well, because it's one thing that has been lacking a little bit is just keeping those sort of late game,
end game, yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
end game going and making it a bit more interesting. Hopefully, it'll continue that way. But it looks really cool. It looks really, really cool.
Magic, that sounds brilliant. One question before we move on: have I missed the adventure?
I think you have.
Goodness
I think you've
sake.
missed the pirate one. Aye. It finished. In fact, no, it finishes right now. You can probably you just finish the podcast and go and do it. I think it finishes. In fact, do you know? I think you've probably missed it because the update did. Yeah.
Oh man, I thought I might have midnight. Someone did say it's today it finished.
Nah, it's today because it's at 10 a.m. each Thursday when they do their updates.
It's gone, mate.
Aye.
Well, I missed the first one, so it's not like I broke my streak or anything. Thank you, Colin. That's excellent. Listen,
yeah, I did just see Sherry Bobbin saying, "Is there any other game that works like this with constant updates and refreshes and additions?" Yes, there are a number of games that do this in this sort of live service format. Destiny, Destiny 2 are examples of it, things like that. And then obviously there's things like Fortnite and Apex Legends and all that essentially do the same thing. So yeah, it's a fairly tried and tested format, but I genuinely think Sea of Thieves are one of the very best at it.
They're certainly getting there with the addition of seasons and all that. I think they're now on the ball with it, and they've realised what they can be. I think rather than what they're maybe aspiring to be, they're now actually doing. But I think these take time as well.
With the battle pass as well, and as you said, things like and there is literally so much to do in the game now. And yeah, we are talking about the fact that Pirate Legends were looking for a little bit more to do, but there's an awful lot, and they're building the lore. Obviously, the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. We don't know whether or not that's going to open any more doors. People are, of course, saying, "Well, if they've got this deal with Disney, will we ever see Captain Hook, for instance? Will we ever, see what's his name, Salazar? He was the character played by what's his name? Javier Bardem. Will we see him, for instance, come in? Will other characters from Pirates of the Caribbean turn up? Captain Barbossa, we've not really seen him. Would he potentially appear? Would there be more Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, or would Disney potentially do that? And of course, Disney also, we've talked about this before, and there is a wonderful Monkey Island Easter egg in Sea of Thieves already, but would we ever see Guybrush Threepwood or Elaine Marley perhaps appearing in the Sea of Thieves? There's a lot of things they could do with it if they wanted. And of course, as Evil Monkeys just mentioned in there's a lot of books already. I've got one of the books, The Tales from the Sea of Thieves. There's so much lore. Arthur Pendragon, Flameheart, the Gold Hoarder, Duke himself. There's so much lore to play with. I mean, there's just no end to what they could tell, and what they could do with the game, and I'm here for it.
Fantastic. On that note, Colin, let me give you a crumb.
These crumbs.
Because Return to Monkey Island is coming out. A sequel to Monkey Island 2 is coming out. 20, 30, 25 years? I can't even think. Monkey Island co-creator Ron Gilbert spearheading the project alongside fellow co-creator Dave Grossman, and this is the question I asked when I watched the trailer, Dominic Armato will also return as fan-favoured voice of Guybrush Threepwood. I wasn't sure if that was the guy who did it.
I believe he is the voice of, although I would never have known that name. If you told me Dominic Armato, I don't think I would have ever been able to tell you that that's the guy. Yeah. But Guybrush Threepwood's voice there's only one voice. It's funny because I kind of always have known, I really only found the Monkey Island franchise properly. I remember playing them briefly at a friend's house years and years and years ago, but it never really kind of worked for me. Curse of Monkey Island blew me away, and of course that was the first one that had voice acting and a really great animation, and I just adored it. So his voice is synonymous with that series, and I am so excited about a new Monkey Island.
It's going to be great. That's the only crumb that it takes a pedestal this week.
That's not a crumb. That's a whole big sandwich.
Oh my days!
That's because he's croque monsieur. I don't know. I just try to think of something that's remotely alliterative.
I like that.
Yeah.
How exciting!
The fact that it's Ron Gilbert that's coming back. The only thing I would say is I'm not 100% sold on the art style. I don't know if you've seen the little trailer.
I did. I'm not judging it. I'm going to wait to see.
Yes, I'm sort of exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I know.
I wasn't quite sure I liked the art style of it.
I know.
But each game's had a very different art style, so I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the writing's good and it's fun, and it will inevitably be hilarious, and so I can overlook it.
Excellent. Right, here's your subbies then, and there's no tune because there's no Blunder Boy.
Subbies, the little thing that makes Colin die inside. Don't have dead air, Paolo. This is an audio podcast.
Here's your subbies for you. Game Pass is coming on the 5th of April. You're getting MLB The Show 22 and Cricket 22. Get that downloaded. Play it, Colin.
Nope.
7th of April, you're getting Chinatown Detective Agency on console and PC, Dragon Age 2 on cloud. You can play it on your phone, Colin. Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare on the cloud, and Star Wars Squadron on the cloud. We could play Star Wars Squadron on our phones. Pew, 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 pew. 12th of April.
We can barely play it on our big tellies.
This is true. 12th of April, one for Sherry Bobbins. Life is Strange, True Colours is coming to console, PC, and cloud.
True Colours on Game Pass.
The Dungeon of Nehulbeek, the Amulet of Chaos on PC. Panzer Corps coming to PC also on the 12th of April. On the 14th of April, you're getting Lost in Random on console, PC, and cloud. Games.
I want to see Random Bloke, friend of the podcast, streaming Lost in Random, because I'd love to see random Lost in Random.
Random Lost in Random. That's pleasing.
That would be good.
Your games are gold. From the 16th of March to the 15th of April, you're getting Street Power Soccer. April 1st to the 30th, Another Sight. 1st to the 15th of April, Outpost Kaloki X. April 16th to April 30th, MX versus ATV Alive. And from the 16th of April to 15th of May, Hue.
Games, I mean, Microsoft really should just give up with Games with Gold.
They
effectively have.
I know.
Jeez,
On the PlayStation side of town, March. No, it's April. Tell a lie. Hood, Outlaws and Legends on PS5 and 4. SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated on PS4. And Slay the Spire on PS4. And that is your subbies. Subbies.
We tentatively mentioned this last time. I'm going off script, Paolo. We mentioned this at the end of our last stream.
Hold on to your potatoes, everyone.
But PlayStation have announced their new PlayStation Plus upgrade tiers.
Indeed.
Which is essentially going to be, I guess, it's not quite there yet, I don't think, but it's kind of Sony's sort of answer to Game Pass.
Well, I mean, it's a fair answer to Game Pass, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see the games. I want to see what games are on there. Yeah. Because they're claiming it's over 400 games or something. So that's good. That's the kind of amount we want to see. But you know, are they going to be on par with Game Pass? Do you know what I mean? The thing Game Pass has got over it. Sorry, I've just stomped in on you.
No, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I'm just checking something.
Game Pass. One of the big appeals for Game Pass is that you're now going to get Bethesda on game day one. So when Starfield comes out, you're going to get Starfield on day one on Game Pass. I can't see Sony, giving you, whatever Ratchet and Clank sequel on day one on this PS Plus. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
or an Infamous Son. The next
whether
Infamous
they'll
Son
be day one, I'm not sure.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the issue, because Game Pass. That's what is so impressive about Game Pass. I
Mhm.
still don't really know how Microsoft can. Well, I think the only way they can really make it work with the sums is Microsoft are just eating a lot of the cost. They're just going, well, and it's clearly working in their favor because Game Pass subscribers are mental. And let's be honest, Microsoft and Xbox have never really been known for their exclusives, have they? It's never really been.
It's not what they've done. Not what they've
It's
went
a
for.
much. It would be a much bigger difference to Sony's sort of business model if they were to suddenly give away their exclusives for free, because their exclusives are massive sellers.
Well, that's what they go for, yeah. But you know, like Microsoft don't go come and play Sea of Thieves exclusively on.
I mean,
Xbox,
genuinely, I've said this before. They bloody should, because it's genuinely. I don't think there's a game like it
But I
anywhere
think
else properly.
They don't fly
But,
that flag because, as you say, they've not got the power. They've not got that weight of a Microsoft exclusive. You're a bit like, you know. Whereas a Sony exclusive has got this sheen on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would just like to say, by the way, so I've just checked this,
Oh, here it
and
comes.
as far as I'm aware, this is still possible.
Mhm.
PlayStation Plus Platinum, or PS Plus Premium, I can't remember what it's called, but the top end one that features all this stuff, right? That is going to basically cost about a tenner a month. So it's going to be around £99.99 in the UK.
Don't say that out loud. My wife's listening.
However, much like Game Pass, and you and I both benefited from the sneaky get yourself a good deal on Game Pass deal where there was an upgrade thing. They are at the moment allowing existing PS Now memberships who have their memberships stacked in the run up to June 22 when it launches, to automatically, for the duration of their thing, get the top tier. So basically, if you were to buy a 1-year membership of PS Now around about just now, you could use various websites like CD Keys or something like that to get a nice little discount on it. You would be paying roughly 50 quid, and then you'd get a year of PS Premium. So you would essentially be getting it for half the price.
I don't know, because you're actually looking at it now, but I could be wrong. But I think they may have receded that now.
Have they?
I don't know, because I saw it.
Just trying to check whether I can only find an article about it.
I saw it a few days ago. They were talking about that, and then I think a couple of days after that they changed it so that wasn't happening. But everybody got it in that couple of days. But then I think they might have stopped it. But I could be wrong.
I'm just trying to see if I can find a more up to date.
While you're doing that, I'm going to agree with Sherry Bobbins for a comment that she made earlier about Dragon 2, remaking the Dragon 2. Pointless remake. I love David Fincher as well, but you didn't need it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Evil Monkey says PlayStation Plus is to games what Xbox Series X and S is to consoles. That's a riddle. That's
Nobody knows which one is the good one. Well, listen, let's not forget my long-standing thing about Xbox's ridiculously confusing way of naming consoles.
Nobody would fall for that, mate.
PS Now, people did.
No, nobody would ever order the wrong console.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, nobody would order the wrong console.
I got excited. Anybody could have made the same mistake. It's unreal. Just while you're looking, I will fill by saying I'm excited for the PS Plus thing, but I think I have to see the games. I have to see what games are going to be there. I don't want it to be, here's PS3 games and here's all the kind of independent games that we have, but you're not getting the shiny ones. You need to buy the shiny ones. You know what I mean?
What I assume they'll do is they will probably have a certain game in a spotlight. They kind of did this with PS Now, where they would cycle some of their big games in.
Mm-hmm.
So for a couple of months, it was God of War, and then it was Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it'll be something more like that. I know Returnal, as far as I'm aware, Returnal is going to be one of them. There is a couple of them they have confirmed. Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be one. I've not played that. I'd quite like to have a go at that.
Yeah.
But the added thing at the top end tier is that you also get the PS one and PS2 and PS3 games as well from the back catalogue. It could be really great to play some of them back. You can download. You don't have to just stream. You can only stream the PS3 ones because of the architecture issue. PS3's an interesting beast. It was a brilliant console. I love PS3, but one of the best things about PS3 is it gave us PS4 because Sony then went, let's stop trying to do the cell processor thing. Let's go back to essentially making it a PC with a controller. And as a result, PS4. I mean, honestly, what a console the PS4 was. It was really your first proper PlayStation, and it was your first
my
ever
first PlayStation. Yeah.
And it's a brilliant machine.
Resogun for life, mate. Resogun for life.
Resogun MVP. So
was that inconclusive? Your research there. You were on the spot, to be fair. So
yeah. I can't really.
Don't worry about it. Don't stress.
Find a confirmation. I will try to.
Everybody listening that's pressuring poor Colin to look this up right now. Go and find out yourself.
Aye.
Go and find out yourself.
I kind of get the impression it will be okay because I don't see how they can. Unless they stop selling PS Now subscriptions, I don't really know how they can really stop you doing it.
Well, who knows? There might be just a rider in it that it's going to go down to the next level. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? Listen, time is marching on, Colin.
It is.
We'll maybe touch on that next week. Hopefully, we might know a bit more details about it.
We will have confirmation on that by then, hopefully,
and it will be too late. But. Listen, tell us what games you've been playing. Well, listen, we did the game of Dread Hunger, didn't we?
We did.
The community. This is your game. Do you know what I mean?
I do love this game, yeah.
Colin was in fine thrall form last Thursday. It's great. You get anything else to say about Dread Hunger? We've said quite a lot.
Yeah, listen, there's not a massive amount to say, really, that we haven't already said. They are continuing to update the game. They're sort of tweaking things. Little rebalances and things like that, which I think are really helping the game. I bloody love it. I really, really love it. I think it's a fabulous game. I really do think people should check it out on Steam. I believe it is one that will potentially be coming to console at some point. I think it could work brilliantly on console at some point. But I just love the game. I thought the games we had last week on the Nearly Men channel. The VOD is still available on twitch.tv/the Nearly Men. Were some really good games. Good games. We had a lot of great people playing with us, and everybody really was playing very well. I genuinely did have a very good. I was the thrall a couple of times, and I had some really good sort of thrall behavior. But I thought everyone was playing it very, very well.
Everyone's starting to learn a bit more about it now, wasn't it? And Lindsay Marr had a big game as well, didn't she?
Lindsay Marr made her debut and played very well. Yes, it's a game that takes quite a while, I think, to sort of get used to. It's very difficult, and it's a lot of fun. But once you get into the swing of things and get quite good at it and start to really learn to lie to people, it makes an awful lot. But do you know, I've just had so much fun in that game. I remember Use83. I found him one time, and he basically, I managed to convince him to make me a pistol. He said, "If I make you this gun, you're not allowed to kill me." And I said, "Absolutely not, no bother at all, mate." And then I shot him in the back of the head. I just love the fact. And then, of course, that was that same game where Paolo heard the gunfire and then sort of like came out of the blizzard like, oh no, I heard gunfire. And I was like, yep, bang, shot him too.
Unreal, man.
It's just one of those games. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those games, much like Sea of Thieves. It's a kind of tools, not rules sort of game where what I really like about it, much like Sea of Thieves, is the sort of adventures you can have
Mm-hmm.
in the environment they've created for you, in the game they've made for you. I just love it, and I just hope it continues to get added to. I would love them to add some more maps. The new map that they did add fairly recently is excellent, quite different from the other ones. And I do hope that they can continue to add more stuff fairly regularly. It does look like the roadmap hasn't really mentioned a new map. They have other things and a lot of cosmetic stuff and things like that. But I'm hoping that there'll be some new maps on the way as well.
Nice. What else you been playing, my man?
So let me see. I've obviously been playing Sea of Thieves, but I have to say the one game that has really, really been taking up my time has been Elden Ring.
Oh my!
It's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. A lot of people were super hyped for this game. Obviously, I wasn't that bothered about it, even though I'm essentially the kind of main Souls guy out of the Nearly Men. These games are more my games than anybody else's. Really, I'm kind of more into them.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. And then I remember seeing a gameplay trailer for it at one of the it was either a State of Play or whatever, and I saw this open world fight on horseback against a dragon, and I was just like, that looks amazing. February came, and of course, it's now infamous. That particular night where the three of us all convinced one another that we were all buying Elden Ring, and we basically all finished the podcast and we all bought Elden Ring. And I find it really interesting because I'm about 60 hours in now. I am still finding areas that the game that I'd never found. I'm still finding things in areas I thought I'd completely fully explored. I'm at a really nice sort of part in the game where I'm kind of able to handle most things I'm coming across, but every so often I'll come across a boss or a mini boss who gives me a bit of a doing, and I'm quite enjoying that. It's not super hard kind of grindiness, but at the same time there's a challenge. And I just can't believe how brilliant the open world is and how beautiful it looks, and just the scale of it is extraordinary. I'm really blown away by it, and it's really funny because I sort of mentioned this before that there's already been a number of good games released this year. There has been some really good games released this year. Horizon Forbidden West, which actually is kind of on the back burner for me at the moment, but that is a fabulous game. It's really, really good. Obviously, there's Elden Ring. It looks like God of War might come out this year. There's various other games that are on their way. But I kind of feel that even if Elden Ring doesn't end up the best game of the year, which, I mean, it very well could be, but it might not be the best game of the year. But I feel it's still going to be the game of the year because literally everybody's been playing it or talking about it. And it just... I can't really remember a game that everybody's been talking about as much.
This year's Animal Crossing, mate.
Well, that is a good point. It is that sort of thing that there was a huge. Do you remember the start of lockdown? And Animal Crossing kind of benefited because everybody went into lockdown and they're all like, "Oh yes, we can all play Animal Crossing."
Best release ever.
And Nintendo manufactured. Can you imagine? I actually said that. That was a joke. That was a joke. I never even finished it.
They're always listening, man. They're always listening.
I know. Mario's going to appear behind me with a garrote, the piano wire, and kill me. It's me, your murderer.
Oh, that's grim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a sketch, though. Remember that?
Yeah, I'll remember that. Copyright Colin NM, the Nearly Men.
Done. Nice one.
Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I like Elden Ring this much. kind of knew I would like it. I just wasn't sure I'd like it as much. But what I'm really pleased with is how much you like it.
Yes, I am surprised
Because
by
that's
that.
a bit more of a surprise.
I'm surprised by how much I like it. I've always been. I've said this a million times in the podcast. I'll not go over old ground. But I've always intrigued by Dark Souls, and I tend to play it but get bored, and I want to like it. That's the thing. I want to like it. And then I play it and it's like, and when I get stuck, I'm like, okay, so I'm stuck. So, Elden Ring's the perfect tonic of, well, go and do something else. And it's just, I just love going about doing stuff. I've got no interest in doing the big bosses, really, the story bosses. I'm getting to them. I've done the first one now, but I'm not rushing up the castle to do the second one. I ended up going a different way and going south and down there and doing bits and bobs down there. And it's great, and it's wonderful when you look in that great map. It's got a brilliant in-game map, hasn't it? And you just see a wee building, and you're like, I wonder what that is. I wonder if that is something or just a wee ruin. And a
spoiler,
adventure.
it's always something.
It's always
it's always
so
something.
Good. It's so good, and just it's. I wonder if playing Returnal has helped me with Souls games, that is, because I read a great article about Elden Ring and Souls games in general, and the person was saying it's great because what you have to do is you have to look at dying differently than you would a normal game. You're not dying, it's not a failure if you die, because you're learning and blah 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 blah. And I wonder if Returnal kind of prepared me for that, with that constant dying, and it trained me because it was a bit more sci-fi and things. I was a bit more into it quicker. So I wonder if that repetition has then prepared me, now that I've went to this. I play it differently. I don't know, but it's, as you say, it's gorgeous looking. And every time I watched a trailer for it and everything, I thought, it just looks like a kind of an older game. It looks a bit kind of a bit textury and things like that. But once you play it, once you're in it, it's a different experience completely. It's such a pretty game. It's great fun. It's great fun.
It really is. I'm sort of, not. I'm kind of not surprised, because obviously I've played a lot of these Souls games, and FromSoft have always had a habit of just making really brilliant things and really beautiful looking designs and all that. However, what I'm yet still so blown away by things that I find in the game. I'm like, who came up with this? It looks amazing.
Grotesque things and grotesquely beautiful and creepy.
And then genuinely haunting. I don't know if I don't think you've happened across the particular creature I'm talking about yet, because you will know when you find them.
What was the term you used? It wasn't even made your blood run cold. It was something.
I definitely did say it made my blood run cold, but God knows what else.
There was something you said that was a great turn of phrase. I thought that's brilliant.
I may have said something more unpleasant, but I can't remember. Yeah. What about you, Paolo? What have you been playing?
Well, do you know what have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Star Citizen again. I'm still loving it. I had to throttle back. I had to remind myself that I'm not a Star Citizen streamer. And I had to throttle back and kind of start introducing other things back into my streams, because I was being overwhelmed. I'm consumed by it, and it's such a good game. And I always come back to the promise of it, the potential it's got. And just bits that are added. There's a big update coming soon that's going to add things like ship-to-ship refueling. You're going to be able to sell loot now, different things like that, and kind of quality of life things and all that jazz. Yeah. But it's just great, I streamed it today and it was great. I had Jabrias with me, and he got a crime stat, so we had to go and clear his name, and someone blew up my ship while we were there, and then Johnny Kaput came out of nowhere to save us and took us back to civilization. It's just that world is just great fun. It's just
brilliant.
It's just so much fun. And I just can't get enough of it, basically. Can't get enough of it. But I've went on and on about it, so I'll not go further. Another game I've been playing is Formula 1. Which is, again, I've been consumed by Formula 1 as well. I got right back into it, particularly because the season is starting. And I loved Formula 1 as a kid. And Tommy B in the community is a great Formula 1 fan. And he he was kind of building up to the season starting again. He said, Drive to
He
Survive.
got you hyped.
He said Drive to Survive's on Netflix. Watch that if you're kind of wanting to kind of catch up with what's going on. And it's a brilliant show. It's very, very much goes for the drama and the overplay of the drama. But what it does is it's a great education into who's who. And I came in. Are you laughing at this visual?
Just looking at you doing an Austin Powers style 400-point turn.
Get out of the pits, I hit the wall. I was in trouble. It's a great who's who, and watching the season four of that, I feel good into this season. I know exactly who everybody is. I know who the good teams are. I know who the good drivers are. I know who the baddies are, in inverted commas, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just right back into it. I'm thrown back into it, and I'm lucky that I can watch Sky as well, so I can actually watch the races. So it's threw me back in. So we're going to have a wee community league on a Monday night on my channel. There's a good wee handful of us going to be doing it. It's going to be absolutely chaos because none of us can actually finish a race because we just end up getting spinned off. And once you're off, that's you're kind of out kind of thing. But it's so much fun. And it's great because we've been playing it, we've not been doing like 5 laps. We've been doing a kind of mid-race where it's like 18 laps. So the tension is unbelievable as you try to survive, basically. It's not about winning, you're just trying to finish the race. It's so much fun. So much fun. So that'll be Monday nights on my channel. We're going to do Formula 1 as of the 18th of April, which will be great fun. Nonsense.
Nice.
Let me tell you about the viewers' games. Bri22 has been in touch. I've been playing. He says hi. Bri says hi. Hi.
Nice of him. Hi, Bri.
I've been playing Overcooked 2, Total War Medieval, Potion Craft, World War Z, and some Solitaire. Plus a bit of Sea of Thieves and Wasteland 2. And then he jumps in by saying, I had to edit this as I forgot I've played Phasmo almost every evening with friends, even if just 2 or 3 maps. Paul Kaczynski, you want to come play some Phasmophobia with me? No.
Not a Phasmo fan, are you, Paolo?
It's terrifying. I don't like it, mammy.
It's quite good, but it's a spooky game.
Spooky
Paolo's no built for the spooky games. And of course, it is the game where Spooky Kid
indeed, the original
was when first appeared.
Spooky Kid. So funny. Tommy B's been in touch. Simply says F1. That's all he's been playing. Formula 1. He did move house, to be fair. So
fair enough.
Lindsay Marr, I've been playing Unpacking, which is weirdly addictive and relaxing. Nice. I quite fancy
I've seen
Unpacking.
the aforementioned Random Bloke stream this before. That looks a lot of fun, actually. That's a game that I think Sherry Bobbins would quite like, actually.
Indeed. It satisfies OCD itches. If you're a wee bit Monica, as they say.
It was Sherry Bobbins is a wee bit. Sherry Bobbins likes, everything in its place.
All the good places. All the good people are.
Aye.
All the good people are. That's the Toaster says he's been getting his ass kicked at golf. He has. Golf this week was pretty hard going. It's all open this week. So thank you for getting in touch. If you want to get in touch, then here's how you can do it.
Love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
Indeed. Right, here's your new releases, people. Hold your breath. You are getting Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition on Switch on the 7th. That's today. Tomorrow, the 8th, you're getting Dream Vibe on PC. 12th, you're getting 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim on Switch. On the 14th, you can get Cat Cafe Manager. I'm looking at you, Mimi Cattails. PC and Switch. Tormented Souls on the Switch. And the 15th, you get Taito Milestones. On the 20th, you can get Ember Knights on PC. 20th, also you're getting Star Wars The Force Unleashed on Switch. That's going to be just as bad as Jedi Outcast, isn't it? You can feel it.
Well,
same company.
Aye.
21st, you're getting Anushard on the PC, Xbox, Switch, and Lumot, the Master Moat Chronicles, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, and finally Velon on PC on the 21st. Indeed. Kaczynski, you're not Kaczynski. I'm Kaczynski. I'm just saying my name. Kaczynski.
Damn it, anything you put in the teleprompter, Kaczynski will read.
It's not even there.
I know it's not even there. You just literally you're just thinking about yourself all the time.
I was just excited I was here.
Everyone likes to think that I'm the egotist of the Nearly Men, but I think we've just found the truth.
Was there anything exciting happening in chat, Mr. Little?
Would you like me to move on? Paolo?
Please,
just,
Les. I'm
spare your blushes.
Just going to drink my whiskey. Be quiet.
Yes, we have had various folk chatting away. A couple of things. The wee Maverick declared, "Ooh, Captain Hook! I love Pan."
She loves Peter Pan.
Yeah, I honestly think Peter Pan, the whole Peter Pan sort of thing, would work really well in Sea of Thieves.
Wouldn't it? Actually?
The idea of Captain Hook or the Lost Boys and Peter Pan and all that could be very, very cool. And of course, with the veil and the fact that the Sea of Thieves sort of lives kind of in this otherworldly world, could Neverland potentially, could the kind of the veil possibly bring more? It brought Jack Sparrow through to the Sea of Thieves. Could it bring others? I think it could be very cool. And of course, stylistically, it would work very well, as Wee Mav says. It would fit right in. Sherry Bobbins on the news that Life is Strange,
True Lies, you were about to call it there.
True Lies is coming to Game Pass. Sherry Bobbins declared, "Colin's night streams are no more because I will be playing."
That's it.
So there we are. Big fan of the Life is Strange games. Evil Monkey mentioned that they played Weird West, which is a nice game. That's the one from Devolver Digital. It's free on Game Pass. Apparently, this game is excellent. I was looking at it because I was very excited. I thought it would work very well for Nearly Men stream, and that was the plan until I realised it was single player only, which is a real shame. But apparently, it's very, very good. Very, very good. Sherry Bobbins again talking about Dread Hunger actually said that's one of the games I really enjoy watching. I think it is a very good game to watch. And Ride or Die, is it pains to say that they have only been Athena grinding. I would expect nothing less.
And it means he's only Athena grinding, as in he's doing nothing else. Doing nothing with the farm.
Working on Athena.
He's Athena grind. That's his job. That's his life.
That's it. And also, as a shout out, there's double rep for Athena tomorrow in the Sea of Thieves. So there you are. There's some options tomorrow on the Sea of Thieves for people, and of course there's a Golden Glory weekend this weekend as well.
Lovely jubbly. Well, listen, we've went a wee bit over time, but hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I really enjoyed talking about the remakes. I have to say that's what held us up.
Yes, I know that bit about Blunder and his Budgie Smugglers.
Do you think Blunder Boy's listened?
Blunder Smugglers.
Anyways, do you think he's done the whole? I'll listen to 10 minutes of it, see if they mention me at the start.
No,
I think he'll do that. I think he'll listen to the open. Then once we go to the housekeeping, he'll switch off.
You're giving him far too much credit.
That's what he's done, because they'll listen to see if we've done anything. So I think we need to test them now. Test them now. So Blunder Boy, if you're listening, then you have to message us a phrase. What phrase has he got to message us? Something random. Like he listens on double speed. That's what I'm going to do. Tell me you listen on double speed, Blunder.
Yep. I mean, he's going to have scrubbed all the way through it, if anything, isn't he?
He'll have used some of his technologies to flag up when his name's mentioned.
That's what I do as well, to be honest. But
unreal with his oily body. His oily body and his Budgie Smugglers.
And his Budgie Smugglers.
Gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 106 of the Nearly Men Video Games Podcast. It's been a pleasure having you all here, live in the chat, and also listening wherever you are now. Episode 107 will be here on the 21st of April, live on twitch.tv/the Nearly Men, as well as all your podcast players as well. Mr. Little, have you got anything else to say before we go?
No, I don't think so. I just thank you everybody for listening. That was, as Paolo said, that was a lot of fun talking about the remakes, and let us know what you lot think out there about remakes for next time.
Nice. And this episode of the podcast, Colin, out of 10, what would you give it?
I would give it a 15.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's...
Take that, Blunder boy. Shove that in your Budgie Smugglers.
We'll see you all in a couple of weeks, guys. Have a good time. Bye-bye.